Yes.
You are the great I am.
Yes. Yes, Lord.
You're everything I need.
Oh, glory.
You are my healer, oh God. You're my strength. You are my redeemer.
Yes, God. Yes.
You're everything I need. Everything I need. Everything I need.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Glory.
Glory to you.
And I love you.
All right.
And I love you too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sometimes I don't feel like this. I love you too.
Yes, yes, God.
Yes,
You are holy, 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 holy. You are holy, holy, holy,
yes, Lord.
We're going to go into the Word.
Yes, yes,
You have
yes.
your Bibles. I want you to turn with me. Mark the 2nd chapter. Starting at the first verse.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
I know you've been here for a while. I just want to thank you for waiting around.
Yes, God.
I'll give you this word that God gave me. It says, Mark chapter 2, verse 1 says, and again he entered in Capernaum after some days, and it was noise that he was in the house. In other words, folk were talking.
Yes, God. Yes.
If I could say it like this, the streets were talking.
Ah, yes, Lord.
Right.
If I could say it like this, Negroes was talking.
All right. Preach that word. Preach that word.
Amen.
If I can put it like this, when you go into certain places, folks talk about you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Verse 2 says, and straightway when many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them. No, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them. Can I take you back to when he entered into the world? They denied him a place to be born.
That's right.
I'm not going to take long, but I'm going to say what I have to say. Said it was no room.
Yes. Yes, God. In the
In the end. I need y'all to walk with me. Don't miss it. Come on. He just so happened to be grown now. And there's still no room.
Yes.
Verse 3 says, and they come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4. And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was. And when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of palsy lay. When Jesus saw their faith, because I'm going to park in a minute and talk to you. Even though the men, his friends, tore the roof off, opened it up so they can lift their friend down
Yes.
to be healed, you would think that he would say something about them tearing up them folks' roof.
Jesus.
You would think that he would say something or ask a question and say, wait a minute, what's going on?
Come on.
But he spoke to the man with the palsy.
Yes.
Verse 6 says, but there were certain of scribes sitting there and reasoning in their thoughts. So I want to address the room on tonight and say, there's certain people in the room on tonight looking at me,
You better speak.
thinking certain thoughts.
All right.
Okay, she's already late.
That's all right.
Now she want to take the time and talk about her son. She
Talk.
wants y'all to pray for her son.
That's all right.
Now she mentioned her grandson
You better
playing.
speak.
There's certain reasons that you have. Some of y'all know me, don't try me in the spirit because I pick up on it.
That's right.
And now what I got to say is, thank you for waiting.
Amen.
But I didn't talk about you shouting
Come on now.
before I got here.
Amen.
As a matter of fact, you were rejoicing when I walked in the
Jesus.
door. Don't look at me funny because I'm in the
Come
Word
on
when He
now.
says it's certain people sitting around. When God mentions the word certain
Certain.
in the Bible, that means there's a special kind of person.
Yes.
Just like He said, there was a certain man.
Yes.
There was a certain woman. When
Uh-huh.
I talk about the certain woman, most of the time we refer to that woman as the woman with the issue.
Amen.
And with the issue that she had the certain press. The same press that the friends had to get their friend to Jesus.
All right. All right.
Yes.
She got down up on her knees. And I thought about my little thing here, bro. A lot of us say when he touched the hem of his garment, you think about this. But this is what he had on. When you do your research and you read what kind of garment they wore back in the days, it was more like a tassel than the hem. So when I began to study about that, I began to think about the tassel. And I began to think about the word.
Uh-huh.
And it says when she touched the hem of his garment, she was made whole. She was made complete. And I looked at the hem that's on the bottom of our garments. The stitching goes a different way. But when I look at the tassels that's on the garment similar to what he has, y'all walking with me?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is, if he can heal the woman completely through this, what is he about to do with the man that they tore the roof off of? So where am I at? I think I am at verse 6.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But there were certain of scribes sitting there, reasoning in their hearts. Why does this man thus speak blasphemy? Who can forgive sins but God? And I'm looking and I'm listening and trying to figure out, like, that's where the church is today.
Come on.
Yes.
Like, we become so judgmental that we forget what our duties really are.
Talk.
Like if you go to certain places, I'm not pointing you out, but if you come into certain places, if he would come into certain places like that, they will look at him funny. but nobody knows the ministry
Yes.
that's in his mouth.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
They look at apostle and they can say, oh, that's a great man of God. Because he's dressed in a suit. And he look a certain way.
Yes.
I don't want to try to drop off. I want to stay.
That's right.
So with this certain man, this dignified man, dignified people,
You better
with the dignified dress.
dignified.
Don't worry about my stockings because they look like an elephant leg. I ain't worried about putting no heels on. I'm out there beside the road. My stockings up down and run in it. I ain't worried about it. Because one thing I want y'all to know that there was a price. To get to the house of God. I could have called and said, you know, I can't come because we had death in the family. I feel so much better because she knew the Lord.
Yes.
I could have said I couldn't come because we just had an accident on U.S. Road. But there was a price. And I'm getting ready to go through the Bible before myself when I tell you that there's going to come a time and a situation that's going to come up in your life where you're going to have a choice to stand still, turn back, or press forward. I want to know in the place tonight, is there anybody in here that's willing to press to what God has for you? You know the promises are still good, but do you have enough in you to keep pressing and depending on what God promised you? Are you going to let an accident? Are you going to let anything that's going to stop you or distract you? Are you going to let that stop you to the point? No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm getting ready to bust the roof. I'm getting ready to bust the roof over tonight because I know that when I bust the roof, when I take the roof off, what God has for me can't never stop it. I heard somebody say the sky is the limit, but I declare the sky ain't no limit. It's not a cap on God, because what God has for me, it is for me. And when He began to restore, it's going to be more than what I had before. I'm trying to tell you that what you've been dealing with, you better have somebody around you that's willing to peel the roof back. You better get somebody around you that's willing to tear the door down, that's willing to come through the window, willing to tear the window at you all. Come on. You better get somebody around you that's going to fight for you. I want you to do a circle check. Is there anybody in your circle willing to sacrifice anything for you?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Do you have anybody in your circle that's willing to put themselves aside? Even though they might be in need, but do you have anyone in your circle that can tear the roof off just to let you down? To get what you need? What so amazes me is how Jesus really responds. That's what I want you to understand, that how you want Him to respond sometimes doesn't satisfy you. How you want Him to do things doesn't really go your way sometimes. Can I just be honest? Can I tell you how my conversation's been with God for the last 2 days? Don't y'all look at me funny. I said, God, if you was going to take somebody, why you wouldn't take these hair raisers right here? If you going to take somebody, why don't you get these hypocrites around here? If you going to take somebody, why don't you get them folks that shooting up everything? Take them Negroes out. Why you got to take somebody that's trying to do right and live right by you? Don't look at me funny because y'all asked that question too. But you just don't want to admit it because you want to look churchy and you want to look sanctified and you want to look holy. But I come to expose some stuff on the night and say, I got some questions for you to answer. Somebody in the building got some pauses going on.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Said, Master, listen, we ain't done that. We ain't caught nothing. We tired and we over. He said, but what I want you to do is I want you to trust me.
Yes.
Woo. Come on. I ain't got nothing else for you tonight. I just want you to trust me.
That's
Go
right.
back out into the deep.
Go out and do it.
See, that's what's wrong with us. The ones that shout all the time and won't so think when you got it all together. But when you get into deep stuff, you want to run to the shore. He said, but launch out into the deep. Go out there where the stuff is at. I'm going to see if you're willing to trust me enough to go deeper.
That's right. That's right.
I'm trying to tell y'all today. Sometimes when you tell God, if you need something for me to do, I'll do it. If you want me to go, I'll do it. They even got a song that says, if I have to go, I'll go by myself. But let me tell you, sometimes God will test that thing and say, let me see what you're going to do. He'll cause some stuff to come out to see where your relationship is. What is that? That's him launching you out into the deep. You say, I want to go higher, I want more of you, but can you stand the rain?
Can you
I want to go deeper, but you know what? When you go deeper and you ask God for more power, you got to withstand some stuff.
Yes, you do.
So let me go back to my story. I didn't lose my place. Let me go back to my story when he said, launch out into the deep. And they looking at him like he's crazy. But let me just let y'all know one thing. God uses the foolish thing.
Yes, Lord.
That's the word. So it was foolish of him to tell them to go back out where they had been at all night long and hadn't caught anything. But they chose to trust him enough and say, Lord, but at your word. We'll go back and we'll throw it down one more time. We're going to trust you one more time. We're going to give you a chance one more time. But when that time came and they trusted him, what did he do? He overflowed and they weren't even able to hardly get back. The ship was beginning to sink because he had blessed them so much they had overflow. Didn't it? Now let me just go and bring y'all back to what I'm talking about on tonight.
All right.
He challenged them to drop down. The friends dropped them down. At your word.
All
The
right.
Bible didn't say that Jesus went to him and laid his hands on him.
That's right.
He didn't touch him. But what happened was, at his word, he said, your sins be forgiven. What kind of man is this that can forgive your sins? Only God can do that. Didn't even know that he was talking to God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. And I'm going to give y'all something else theologically. You know, they're going to think I'm crazy. But you know, they say that Jesus didn't show up on the scene until the New Testament. But I beg to differ, because when they threw them boys in that fire furnace, and then they didn't say just that we just see 4. We threw 3 in there, but we see 4. He didn't say we just saw that, but they identified who he was. He didn't say he was. He said, looks like the Son of God. It looks like the Son of God. If that ain't Jesus, who is it? Don't tell me that he's not Alpha and Omega. Don't tell me that he's not the beginning and he's not the end. Don't tell me that he didn't show up and show out in the beginning and he's still showing up and showing out right now. I want to know, is there anybody here with enough faith on tonight to drop your situation down and let Jesus fix it? Let God speak a word over you. That's your word. Okay, let me go ahead on and bring it on in. Y'all ain't trying to go with me tonight. They said, why did this man thus speak blasphemies who can forgive sins but God only? He says, and immediately. Look at somebody and say immediately. When Jesus perceived, he didn't even hear it. He perceived it in his spirit, and they reasoned within themselves, and he said unto your heart. In other words, Jesus was showing out and let them know that they wasn't dealing with a counterfeit, but they're dealing with the real thing. I'm not trying to boast on the night, but y'all ain't dealing with no counterfeit.
Glory.
That's right.
You're dealing with the real thing tonight. Don't second guess me. Don't second think me. Because if he show it to me, I'm sure pulling it out. Well, it is easier to say the sick are palsy, thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise, take up thy bed and walk. Is it easier for me to say tomato or for you to say tomato?
Jesus, come on. Yeah.
Is it easier for me to say potato and you say potato? Is it easier for you to graduate from theology and I just have a high school diploma? Is it easier for you to have doctor in front of your name than for me to have PhD behind mine? I want somebody to catch up with me. Is it easier for me to show up in a pair of shorts on a Friday night, or is it easier for me to show up in a three-piece suit for you to receive what I have to say? Is it easier for me to serve you spaghetti and meatballs or filet mignon? Is it easier? How do you want it? Because any way you put it, I'm still God. I still got the power. I may not look like you think I don't look. I may not say what you think I don't say, but I'm still God. And my speaker is so but that we may know that the Son of Man hath power on the earth to forgive sins. I say unto thee, arise and take up thy bed and go thy way into thine house. And immediately, that's the word again, he got up and he arose. Listen to me. I want to tell you on tonight that if you came, I'm willing to stand in the gap and peel off the roof. I went to speak for my spiritual mother in D.C. a couple weeks ago. And I walked in, I hadn't talked to her about anything that was going on. And God told me to put on one of her shawls. When I put that shawl around my shoulder, I almost hit the floor.
Oh, wow.
God told me, he says, I sent you here to carry your leader's burden. Do you have somebody around you that's willing to carry your burden? Hey, where did you get that from? I got that from the word that I'm talking about on tonight, because the man had palsy. He had a burden. But he had some friends that was willing to carry not only him, but willing to carry his burden. Do you have anybody that's willing to carry your burden on tonight around you? Do you have anybody that's willing to be around you as long as you got money in your pocket? But when you're broke and you can't take them nowhere and do anything for them, they don't have no time for you. And do you have anybody in your church that's willing to pick up your burden and say, come on, let that you. Don't worry about it. God's going to make a way. Don't worry about it. God's going to heal you. Don't worry about it. God's going to deliver you. Don't worry about it. Do you have anybody in your circle that's willing to pick you up and carry you where you need to be? Not put your business in the street, but else to pick you up and carry you where you need to be. He could have took them to a whole lot of other places, but they knew that the man was in town that could change your very situation. Now I have a question for you, and I'm going to sit down, because I know y'all tired, y'all ready to go home. But if it was on the Friday night and y'all was able to put your club clothes on, y'all be ready to go get it again. But I'm going to tell y'all this. So, I'm thinking about how God is so amazing and how he does things. And he's so, I hate to say it like this, but you know, I think Jesus, when he would respond to people, he would get kind of sarcastic. Come on. A little bit. Yeah. And he, can I just be me? And he would say, do you know who I am? When you address me, you're trying to check me, but do you know who I am? Right. Do you know that I am the great I am? feel like I want to. My hand feel like it's about to pop the gold. I came with a press in my heart and in my spirit because I knew that God wouldn't expect anything else of me. I had to show up to come to Franklin and to tell you that only thing you gotta do is whatever you're dealing with, tear the roof off, let him know how bad you want it. My question is, how bad do you want it? Go through whatever you need me to go through it. I'll do whatever it is that you need me to do, and we'll say all of that. But when he tests you on that, you spend time blaming everybody else. You know I would go, but I don't like the way Apostle do this. I don't like the way Apostle count me out there. And do you use excuses about, I don't care too much about how pastors carry on and praise and worship and lay hands and cast out devils. And I don't like all of that because that's too much for me. You're so busy using excuses. But we're in a season right now that God ain't thinking about your excuses. He want to know where your heart is. He want to know where you stand. He want to know where you He want to know where you are. Where are you in the spirit? How much faith do you have? But let me tell y'all what happened so good. I got to share this because I think this made the devil mad. Right before we had the accident, as soon as I asked this question, I said, now can you help me with something? Can you help me with why we don't trust him like we should?
Yes, God.
Wow.
When you read further down in the scripture, after he performs this miracle in the house, he began to walk and go to another house. But on his way there, he saw a man. And he didn't say anything else to the man. He just looked at him and he said, follow me.
All right.
The man dropped everything and just followed him. But then it talks about how the man went to that man's house that he asked him to follow. Y'all walking with me? Was it because he saw him in the flesh that caused him to trust him so much? Was it because he seen him perform so many miracles that he just trusted him so much? And my question is tonight, y'all won't get mad, but I'm okay with it. My question is, why don't you trust him even though you can't see him, but he's still walking with you? He's still supposed to be with you, because if you possess the Holy Spirit, then you ought to know that he walks with you, that he talks with you, and that he tells you that you are his own. So if that be the case, that if he say, follow me, why do we hesitate? But we still want that raise the roof, peel the roof, that miracle, but you're not willing to do what he asks you to do. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean that he's not going to perform just what he says. He says, I'm going to perform it to the day of Jesus. Wow. That's what his word says. Why don't we trust him like that? Why is it that we've always got to see it before we believe it? Why are we like that? Why do we hesitate when Apostle says, God told me to tell you this? When he give you instructions, why do you second guess him?
Come on.
You walking in the house.